Today I'm going to be sharing the ultimate guide to writing a clear, concise and effective personal statement to help you with any university application and get that place. If you want to learn more, then stick around. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Diego. I'm an Imperial College graduate working in the heart of London. I make videos on entrepreneurship, life and my journey into medicine as a graduate. If you're new around here, then please consider subscribing, and if you like this video, then please like, comment and share. Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing my ultimate guide to writing an effective, clear and concise personal statement for any university application and to help you get into that university of your choice. Now, of course, this is a guide and these are things that have worked for me, so do take whatever you think works best for you. Some of the principles I'm going to be sharing today are some of my golden rules in writing a personal statement, and they've helped me in the process to secure offers from top universities like Imperial, UCL, Birmingham, Warwick and many others. But again, please feel free to apply whichever you think works best for you. All of these principles and all of these rules that constitute my ultimate guide are going to be timestamped in the description box below. Alright, so these are the different principles that I use when writing up a personal statement. So number one is plan. You want to plan. Number two, you want to structure it effectively. Number three, you really want your personality to come through, so you want to personalize your personal statement. Number four, you want to iterate. Number five, you want to have some sort of feedback to guide this whole process. And number six, you want to include a final review. Okay, so now I'm going to break down each and every step. Okay, so number one is plan. For me, one of the most important aspects of this whole process of writing a personal statement is to plan effectively, because the planning stage of this whole process is going to eventually guide the direction which you take your personal statement in. Now, for me, the planning stage is composed of three phases. So the first phase for me of the planning stage is that I want to really start to note down some of my thoughts on the course that I'm applying to. So for instance, I may not actually have fully developed answers at this stage to my questions, but I want to prompt myself and ask questions like, why am I interested in this course? What has led me to pursue this course? What do I find exciting about the course? What has inspired me to pursue this course? Was there a specific moment where my perspective on the course changed, an event or something? Are there any role models, pieces of literature which affected my thinking on the course? Now, again, at this stage, you may not actually have fully developed answers to these questions, but it's important to jot these down, because at some point you may find yourself actually forgetting why you're actually applying for the course. And having these points down will always give you an indication when you want to look back on what you were actually thinking and what were your initial reasons and motivations for choosing this course. Now, the second phase of the planning stage for me is where I start to research the course at the particular university. Now, of course, there may be some variations in the universities and how they deliver the course, but at this stage I'm really looking for universal aspects of the course which are seen across all universities. And what I'm really looking at is, as I look through the course prospectus, the outline, the summary, the module information, I'm looking for particular skills and abilities or knowledge that they may be seeking or that may be required for when I embark on the course. Now, the reason for this is because these will be things that you may want to include in your personal statement at some point. An example of this is, for instance, if I realize that the course is very much marked based on essays, and if I know that I'm a good essay writer, then I may want to communicate and highlight this skill in my personal statement at some point in my personal statement, just to reiterate and communicate that I'm confident with the way they're also assessing the course and I would have no issue at all with it. And remember, something that's very important, when you do say that you're a good essay writer, that you're an effective communicator, that you're good with numbers, for instance, and you're trying to bring to light a particular skill, you always want to associate it with a particular example to back up what you're saying. So you want to back up your statement. Now, like I said, of course, there's going to be variations in all of the university courses and the way the courses are, how they're delivered, because each university will have a particular way. However, try to really look in and narrow down those specifics that are universal to all the courses, no matter who's delivering it. In the final stage of this planning aspect, I start to bring together the answers I gave myself in the first step and the information I started to collect in the second step. And at this point, you'll start to realize there's a story here. You'll also start to realize what the story you want to tell is, and also you'll start to think about how you're going to tell the story. And this provides a perfect segue to our second rule, which is structure. You want to structure it effectively. So structure. My approach to structuring a personal statement has changed over the years. But after drafting and submitting numerous personal statements to different courses and universities, I really opt for the classic personal statement structure, which is having an introduction and having 2 to 3 main body paragraphs and then finishing strong with the final paragraph. I find that this structure is very straightforward and it's also very effective and provides for a good reading experience for the reader. The key to structuring a personal statement is that you really want to remember that the idea here is that you want to present a piece of writing which is coherent, which flows well, which reads well, but that is so well structured that it provides enough information about you at all stages of the personal statement. Now, sometimes thoughts, ideas, motivations, and your knowledge can get jumbled up if your personal statement isn't well structured. So having a good, solid, straightforward structure can help you know what to write, when to write it, and how much to write it. And it can allow you to distribute the amount of what you want to say evenly across the board. Okay, so going in deeper, for your opening statement, you want to produce a piece which is concise, which is snappy, which is catchy, but isn't too cheesy also, because sometimes people can go overboard and it can just be a bit overly dramatic. You want to present that you're excited, that you're interested in the course, but you're also mature about how you perceive the course. You don't want to show that you're immature or that perhaps you may have a distorted view of what the course actually entails. Instead, what you want to do, you want to summarize the course or the career you're thinking about pursuing in such a way where it shows that you have an understanding of the course, but then you also want to finish strong by stating that your decision to pursue such course or such career is well informed. In doing this, it will provide a perfect segue for you to go into the main body to then provide the examples of the events, of the books, of the articles, of the people you've met or the courses you've taken that have guided your decision to pursue this course. It will also allow you to make the case as well at each example as to why you're an effective candidate. Okay, so the main body. The main body for me typically is composed of 3 paragraphs. And the main body is very important because this is really where you start to make the case for yourself and as to why you're a good candidate for the course. I break down the main body into 3 paragraphs, 2 of which I'm going to be using as examples. And in these 2 paragraphs, I'm going to start bringing in examples of particular events, particular situations, particular books, courses, or anything that I've done, which will show that not only do I have an understanding of what the course entails, what the real world application is, but also I'm going to start bringing in some of the skills I've gained and then relating it back to the course and how I think it will help me in the course or the chosen profession I'm seeking to get into. Now remember, it's really important that for every statement that you make, you want to back it up with an example. It doesn't necessarily matter how abstract you think the example may be. What really matters is the reflection aspect of it and how you really bring through those skills and that knowledge you've gained. Now, of course, if you've got experience which is much more related and more specific to the field and to the course you're applying to, that's obviously better. But don't necessarily feel discouraged if you haven't got that experience. Most personal statement readers and reviewers will understand this, especially if you're a student coming out of college or sixth form. So it's very important that you actually understand what's important here is for you to make the case. And the way you make the case is by stating where you learned this skill and explaining how you develop the skill and how it relates to the course you're applying to. Now, in the 3rd paragraph of the main body, that's where I really start to drive in the message on my academic capabilities. Now, of course, there are many aspects which make up the university application, but of course, academics are an important aspect of it. So in the 3rd paragraph, that's when I really start to drive in some of the courses I've taken, some of the grades I've achieved, some of the projects perhaps I've been involved in, research projects if you have, and if it's relevant to the course you're applying to. And at this point, I'm really trying to drill in the fact that I'm a competent academic student. And just to add on, in addition to including some of the courses you've taken, grades you've achieved, you can also mention any awards you've won if you've got them. Now, it's also always important to remember that you want to make anything you include very relevant to the actual course you're applying to. Okay, so moving on to the closing paragraph of your personal statement. This final paragraph is your opportunity to reiterate why you think you'd be a perfect candidate or the most effective or ineffective candidate for the course. Now you want to start to tie in and bring together all of the ideas that you've expressed throughout the personal statement so far, but you want to do it in a concise manner, and in that way it resembles the structure and the length of the first paragraph. In this paragraph you can also make reference to what studying at the university means to you. However, if you're applying in the UK, like you would know, our university applications are centralized, so the same personal statement will be sent to multiple universities, so you may want to be careful with this. However, at postgraduate level in the UK, some universities will have their own application portal where it will give you the opportunity to make your personal statement more specific and I guess more bespoke for their course. Okay, so moving on to the final portion of this video. The following 4 rules are going to be much more concise. Now, rule number 3 is personalize. Now, I can't emphasize the importance of being unique enough in your personal statement, and in general really. But in your personal statement, the way you stand out is by making yourself stand out, and that's obviously by your unique aspects, your unique experience, what you bring as a candidate. Now I know you may be thinking, well, there's going to be lots of people like me who are applying to the same course, who've taken the same courses as me at sixth form or college or university. What makes me different? Now that is your homework to do really. You really need to find what you think makes you unique. What separates you from others? Now, you don't necessarily have to think about it in a competitive aspect like, what do I do better than others? But what do you think you do which is quite unique to yourself? And you really want to bring these through in your personal statement. Any experience that you've done, you want to explain it in a unique manner. Now, rule number 4 is iteration. You need to iterate. Iteration is an important process in any aspect, in any field, in anything, honestly. And your personal statement is no different. Do not feel discouraged if you have to do a number of drafts for your personal statement. That's perfectly normal. Through iteration, you get better results. You know what works, you know what doesn't. In my experience, to write a good personal statement, it at least takes 2 to 3 drafts. Okay, so we're nearly there. Number 5 is feedback. Feedback is very important. Once you have a draft ready, ask someone you know and trust to look over it. At this point, you want the people you've asked to review your personal statement to be as critical as possible. Don't feel discouraged if you get a lot of comments at each stage of your reviewing process with the person who's giving you feedback. It's important and it's better that you get these mistakes corrected at this point. Okay, so the final step of this ultimate guide for me is review. The reviewing process is really important. You've done your drafts, you've done everything, you're ready to submit. Don't forget to have one last review. Check for any mistakes, any proofreading mistakes. You want to get everything sorted out at this point. And if you're done, if you've reviewed, then yeah, you're ready. You're ready to submit. And I'm sure if you follow these steps, you're going to make your personal statement flow better, be more concise, be more effective in its delivery, and it's going to help you get that place you want. Alright guys, that was my ultimate guide to writing an effective personal statement for any university application, for any university course at any level. Undergraduate, postgraduate, trust me, these things helped me at both undergraduate and postgraduate get offers for many universities and top unis for different courses as well. So if you found this video useful, please consider subscribing, like, comment and share. It's been a pleasure having you here. I'm Diego. Until next time, bye bye.